Today, we're exploring how modern research is completely reshaping our understanding of neurodiversity.
That's fascinating. And it really makes you wonder how many people we might have misunderstood over the years. What's the latest research telling us about autism?
Well, the most striking finding is that autism isn't actually a disorder that needs fixing. It's a fundamentally different way of experiencing and processing the world. Think of it like having a computer that runs on Linux instead of Windows. Different operating system, but equally valid.
Hmm, that's such an interesting analogy. And it ties into what experts are saying about sensory processing, right?
Exactly. And here's where it gets really eye-opening. Imagine trying to work in an office where every fluorescent light feels like a camera flash, where the hum of computers sounds like jet engines, and where the texture of your clothing feels like sandpaper. That's the daily reality for many autistic individuals.
You know what's particularly striking about that? The research shows that up to 90% of autistic people experience these kinds of sensory differences. Yet most workplaces and schools aren't designed with this in mind.
And that brings us to something really crucial, this concept of masking. Studies show that autistic individuals, especially women and girls, often spend up to 40 hours a week actively suppressing their natural behaviours just to fit in. It's like working a full-time job on top of your actual job.
The mental health implications of that must be enormous.
Oh, they are. Research indicates that chronic masking can lead to a 300% increase in anxiety and depression rates. But here's what's really interesting. When autistic individuals are in environments where they don't need to mask, their stress levels drop dramatically, and their cognitive performance actually improves.
That reminds me of some recent studies about autism and employment. Did you know that companies with neurodiversity programs report up to 30% higher productivity in certain departments?
That's because many autistic individuals have what researchers call islands of excellence, areas where they significantly outperform neurotypical peers. We're talking about pattern recognition abilities that can be up to 40% more accurate, and attention to detail that can spot errors others miss completely.
So, what's standing in the way of more widespread inclusion?
Well, one major barrier is this persistent myth about empathy. Studies using advanced brain imaging have shown that autistic individuals often experience emotions more intensely than neurotypical people. They just express them differently. It's like speaking the same language with a different accent.
That really challenges the traditional narrative, doesn't it? And it makes you wonder what other assumptions we might need to reconsider.
Absolutely. And here's something else that might surprise people. Research shows that autistic individuals often have superior long-term memory, with some studies showing recall rates up to 94% accurate for events from years ago, compared to 70% in neurotypical individuals.
The implications for fields like research and data analysis must be significant.
They are. And what's really exciting is how some companies are starting to recognize this. There's been a 56% increase in neurodiversity hiring programs over the last 3 years, with some tech companies reporting that their autistic employees are up to 140% more productive in certain roles.
Though we still have a long way to go in terms of support systems, especially for adults.
That's right. And the numbers tell a stark story. While early intervention programs have increased by 200% in the last decade, adult support services have only grown by 15%. We're seeing a huge gap in continuing care and workplace support.
Looking at all this research, what would you say is the most surprising finding?
I'd say it's how much our understanding has evolved. 20 years ago, autism was seen primarily as a deficit. Now, research shows it's more like a different operating system, with its own unique advantages and challenges. And that shift in perspective changes everything about how we approach support and inclusion.
That makes so much sense. It's clear we need to keep learning and adapting our understanding.
And that's really the key takeaway here. Autism isn't about being broken or wrong. It's about being differently wired. The research shows that neurodiversity isn't just natural. It's actually beneficial for society as a whole. When we create truly inclusive environments, everyone benefits.